Will there be a Cars 4? This is the question us Cars and Disney fans have been asking since Cars 3 dropped in theaters last June. Although Disney Pixar has said that they have no more sequels planned after 2019, that doesn't mean that they will plan one. Toy Story and Cars are Pixar's biggest franchises. The amount of revenue they earn from all the Cars toys and merchandise is absolutely ridiculous. It's their cash cow. So since Toy Story 4 is coming out in 2019, shouldn't there be a Cars 4 as well? Simple logic, right? I definitely think it's possible that we'll see Cars race onto a fourth movie, but it has to be before 2026. If we don't get a sequel by then, it probably won't ever happen. Cars 2 came out 5 years after Cars 1, and Cars 3 6 years after Cars 2. A 2026 release date makes for a 9-year gap that I don't think can be extended really any longer. Although Finding Nemo and The Incredibles had even longer waits before their sequels, I feel like those franchises are pretty different and therefore harder to compare to Cars. The Toy Story franchise is aligned more closely with Cars, so it makes more sense that we compare those two. Toy Story 3 came out in 2010, and Toy Story 4 will hit theaters in 2019. That's a 9-year gap, and that's why I think Cars 4 can only be 9 years out at most, and realistically, I think 2024 would be a perfect release date. So now that we've discussed the potential of Cars 4 and why it definitely can happen, let's move on to some plot ideas. Feel free to comment your ideas in the comment section below. I can't wait to read what you guys think. It's always a lot of fun speculating about this kind of stuff. Well, first of all, Owen Wilson, the voice of Lightning McQueen, actually said in an interview, I'll link it in the description below by the way, he said that it'd be cool if the fourth movie had a thriller aspect. I'm glad to hear that the actor would be on board for another sequel, but a thriller is pretty unlikely since Cars 2 was the epitome of thrillers, and to say the least, it didn't work out so well. I liked the movie, but it definitely kind of derived and went a little too far out from the main theme of Cars and Cars 3. One of my personal ideas, as the thumbnail suggests, is a Golden Gate Bridge race. For my viewers outside the United States, the Golden Gate Bridge is a 2.7 kilometer bridge over a strait linking San Francisco Bay and the Pacific Ocean. I've actually seen it in person before, and man, it is beautiful. So yeah, I thought it'd be iconic if we saw Lightning McQueen in a rematch against Jackson Storm through San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge. Of course, this would only be a small part of the movie, but it would introduce something new and exciting to the Cars universe. Some other ideas I had were that maybe we could see McQueen and Sally finally get married. But I think the most likely idea revolves around Cruz Ramirez and her racing career. Cars 3 leaves off with Cruz as the new Dynaco number 51 racer, with McQueen as her crew chief, for the end credits at least. McQueen said to Sally at the Florida 500 that he would keep racing though, and he is still technically the Rusty's representative on the track. So maybe he is just training Cruz to get her going and more accustomed to racing, and then he'll go back and start racing again. Even though he may not be the best anymore, it's still his passion as he clearly stated in Cars 3. The King, of course Richard Petty's character, could become Cruz's new chief since he was Cal Weathers' coach, who was the previous Dynaco racer. So I know things are getting a little complicated, but the bottom line is that Cruz and McQueen are both racing for Dynaco and Rusty's respectively. This leaves room for an official retirement and send-off for McQueen in Cars 4, and progresses on to Cruz Ramirez's story. She could theoretically be the one going up against Jackson Storm on the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, as for the racing elements specifically, they have to change it up. I doubt they'll go back to the standard piston cup racing, going around the oval 500 times. No, 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 they cannot do that again. As much as we all love the Piston Cup with the cool, colorful racers, I think we'll see more street racing similar to Cars 2's World Grand Prix, which means a lot less racers. But Disney has to be careful here as well. It can't be too closely similar to Cars 2 either. So what they could do is incorporate aspects of the early Cars video games from 2007 to 2009 about in the Cars 4 by combining a Radiator Springs racing festival with Cruz's journey in a new street racing league. I think it allows for a great entertaining story. This will bring focus back onto the Radiator Springs townies like Mater, Sally, Luigi, Guido, Fillmore, Sarge, and of course the rest of them as well. This is essentially the premise of most of the video games. There's a racing tournament taking place in the town, such as Mater National, that attracts racers from all over the world. That's gold right there. All they gotta do is build in McQueen coaching Cruz into the story, and they have an instant success. They just need to keep it rather localized around Radiator Springs and Route 66 to return some of that Cars 1 nostalgia and at the same time make it different from Cars 2. I mean, the Golden Gate Bridge is in Northern California, so just have a bunch of races take place in that region along with the Southwest USA. In my opinion, that'd be absolutely amazing. How does a Grand Canyon run sound to you? Disney, Pixar, take some notes on this. Well guys, let me know what you think in the comments below, and also tell me if you want me to do more videos like this in the future. Recording this is bringing back memories of my Cars 3 speculation videos about a year ago. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye now!